Yo, what's up, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? It is another episode of the MCXP Radio here on the BGSC Network doing a live stream. Glad you guys can make it, man. Glad to be a part of it. Glad to be here again, yet another night, man. I was helping Big Game on his show. Um, we just did the other night, man. Big Game Sports Buzz, as usually with him and Jay Stoggs. Remember, Jay Stoggs was out, so I came in mixing, man. Help Big Game had a wonderful show, and that is actually on the page as well. So make sure you guys tune into that. But excuse me, y'all know how it goes, man. Every time we do this show, like to talk to y'all for a little bit, give you my thoughts and opinions on a few things. We keep it moving. Excuse me, probably gonna be solo dolo. I don't think my man is out today. A little bit under the weather, but it's all right, man. Got to get a show. Got to keep it going. Well, make it don't stop no show. My homie ain't no monkey, but I'm just saying, man. Y'all know what it is. Let's get into it, baby. Already, man. Glad to be here again, man. You guys are officially tuning in to the Man Cave at Night, man. Man Cave at Night here on the BGSC Network, man. Appreciate you. Y'all know how I do it on the show. If you're watching, if you are tuning in, please, please, please leave your comments. All of that stuff, man. I make sure and I'll go ahead and post those comments up with you, man. Have a good time converse with you. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell, man, for any notifications, anything that pops up. Not just for my show, but also any other shows here on the BGSC network as well. There we go. Shit, like I said, let's get it started. My boy Big Game already in the mix. Talking about Reed. What's up? What's up, Big Game? Man, appreciate you joining in, logging in, doing what we do best, man. Look, like I always say, man, I don't like to keep you guys long. I like to give you my opinions and some points on some things. They reach 3 points. So without further ado, baby, let's get into it. Here goes A Reed's 3 points. As soon as I make a few changes, we're going into it right now, baby. Let's do it. Yeah. My 3 points, man. Just gonna give you some insight on a few things that have probably come across my desk, the things that I have been thinking about and wanted to talk about. So we will get into it. Now, if you guys have paid attention to the show that I did with Big Game a few nights ago, I believe it was Thursday, we did talk about the NFL possible NFL draft conspiracies that may be going on. Now, I say this in a way, well, let me make a few changes real quick while I'm talking with you guys. Um, I say this in a manner because I don't know necessarily, people, if we got bamboozled. And I don't want to necessarily like just hold on to the fact. I don't want to just sit there and just be the conspiracy guy or anything like that. But it's I want to go ahead and put this dead in the water. I want to go ahead and just finish my thoughts, just end it all. Because this was definitely one of those ones that would make you scratch your head as far as NFL draft. Now, and I say this in the sense that, everybody came in expecting that Shador Sanders was actually going to be one of the top picks. Am I right? We all looked at Shador Sanders coming in to be one of the top picks in this draft. We thought that he would be at least first round. Sure enough, first round. If not, maybe the first, second quarterback to be drafted off the board. We had a number of teams that we had thought about that Shador would be a part of. If it was going to be, Tennessee Titans, if it was going to be the Saints, if it was going to be the Giants, if We even said the Steelers. We even included the Browns, but it was a number of teams. I even said Miami as well, looking at the Tua situation. And for Shadur Sanders to drop all the way to the fifth round. I know I kind of talked about it a little bit last week, but for him to drop all the way to the fifth round was making everybody scratch their heads. How in the world could this be? Fifth round, 144th pick. Now, you can come out and you can say all that you want about he deserved it, his mouth, his cockiness, his attitude. Hey, all of that does have a play. And if you did see me with Big Game, I did say that you got to come in to that as like a interview with these teams. You all 32 teams come across. It's like a job interview. You have to. My man Big Game said conspiracy. Said it was a conspiracy. I feel you on that. You have to look at it as a job interview when you come in and you're getting drafted by all these teams, because you want to make sure that you show your best foot forward. You put your best foot forward and you let these guys know, hey, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do my best, I'm gonna show y'all, and I'm gonna prove to y'all that I am a team player. I can come in and be a very good asset to your company, to your squad. I can do this, I can do that. Um, in some ways, Shadur could have in his interviews been like, y'all know who my dad is, yes, but I'm not my dad. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna do what I need to do. I want to be that game changing quarterback for your franchise. I want to be the one that can put the team on my back, you know what I'm saying, and prove to you guys that I can win games. Yet he didn't do it. So in some instances, you can look at it as a self-inflicted wound because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. But then again, why would a guy with that much talent? Not saying that he won national championships or anything like that, but God, he won the championship for Jackson State when he was down there. When he get to Colorado, he did at least put Colorado back on the map to the point to where you're tuning in, to the point to where Colorado is getting more money in their pockets for showing these games, thanks to him and his dad. So Shadur did do something positive within the Colorado University, and he could do a lot of good for the NFL organizations as well. Um, I want to say that it is a mix of both, but then I look at it and it's hard for me to fathom that there wasn't a league wide talk or a league wide text message to all the GMs saying, "Don't pick Shador, don't pick him up, don't draft him early, make him wait." Now, of course, we don't know the truth, but it makes you scratch your head that this could have possibly been something of that magnitude. Again, a guy with that much talent does not drop all the way down. Now, of course, we didn't hear too much about Travis Hunter. He went second. Travis was always a good guy, always a good kid, Heisman Trophy winner, this is that and third. So he goes second to the Jaguars. We understand. But Shador should have been a first pick at the very least, maybe a second round pick if some teams wanted to shore up some holes, some for sure holes that they need. But it's hard for me to fathom that there wasn't a league wide type of text message or league wide type of bulletin that said, we're not going to draft Shador in the first or the second round. For him to go all the way to the fifth, okay. For one, I think one of the biggest conspiracies, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but looking at it, NFL did their job, because if we weren't tuning in, if Shador had got drafted in the first or second round, we probably wouldn't have paid attention to the second. I mean, we wouldn't have paid attention to the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. We wouldn't have paid attention because that's who everybody mainly wanted to see where he was going, where his draft, where he was going to get drafted at. But he didn't get drafted in the first. Okay, so we still watching. We paid attention. Didn't do it in the second. Okay, everybody scratching their heads. Now, whether you was watching it, whether you was looking at it, whether you was trying to pick it up somewhere else, you didn't understand. I was out with my wife, celebrating, anniversary, looking at my phone, still trying to figure it out. Still wasn't getting picked, you know? So I think the NFL did their justice in that part, in that regard, to the fact that y'all made the people pay more attention down the line of the draft to watch Shador get picked up in the 5th round. We wasn't going to pay attention. I don't think anybody else was going to pay attention. Nah, yeah, people were, but we really wasn't going to pay attention to that much after Shador got picked. If he had got picked in the 1st round, I think that's what everybody wanted to see. All right, man, he's cool. He went to wherever. All right, bet we're gonna go on about our business. But he didn't get picked in the 1st. We still watch. Didn't get picked in the 2nd. Still 3rd and 4th. Didn't get picked. We were still watching because we were on the edge of our seats. We're trying to figure out what in the hell is going on. Why is this guy not getting picked? Great talent, God-given talent. And you mean to tell me that he's not? Maybe they got something against Deion Sanders. Maybe they got something against him. Maybe the league is making a conspiracy of saying, hey, no, we're not going to draft him. Maybe all the GMs have got together and they saying, hey, we don't want nothing to do with Shador. This is that and third, blah, blah, blah. And did y'all notice when he finally did get picked to Cleveland, did you see the war room? Did you see the Cleveland Browns staff? Did you see the coach and the GM? It wasn't too happy. It looked like they wasn't too happy. And I'm very interested to see what the Cleveland Browns QB situation now was going to be, because they did draft Dylan Gabriel, quarterback out of Oregon, I believe. They did get him before they picked up Shador. I think they went the round before 4th round. They went got Dylan. Then the 5th round is Shador. But then you're looking at a quarterback room that already has Joey Flacco, already has the whole Deshaun Watson thing, which I believe both of them cut. You got Kenny Pickett, you got Dylan Gabriel, you got Shador Sanders. So you got 5 QBs that you're going to have to deal with. I believe 2 of them are getting off the books. One of them is going to have to start. One of them is going to have to be your backup. Another guy's probably going to have to end up being your practice guy. He would be the 3rd quarterback, but he'll be the practice team quarterback. But either way, I think in a roundabout way, Shador is in a good spot. Me and Big Gang kind of spoke on Thursday, because he's in a good spot because you look at the level of competition that he's not saying that those guys are bad. I think Shador can actually prove himself to be the best quarterback out of all of the ones that they have collected at the point in time. And I think that he can actually do what he does. And at the best of his abilities, he can possibly end up garnering a starter spot. Now, we have yet to see it, but I think it's going to be a very interesting thing coming out of Cleveland, who's going to end up being your starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. Let alone, I still feel that it was some sort of conspiracy that went on with the NFL to make the viewers stay intact and stay locked in on what was going on with this draft. Because usually, I'm telling you, I'm one of those people. I pay attention to it. I watch it. I want to see what my team is doing. You'll probably see me watch the 1st round, maybe even the 2nd round, but usually after that, man, I'm catching updates on the phone. As long as my team is filling the necessary holes and whatnot, hey, I'm good. Yo, Cincinnati to me did a good job. I talked to Big Game about it on Thursday. I think they filled up their necessary holes. Got your boy from Texas A&M, the edge rusher Stewart. I think he's going to be a good asset with him and Trey Hendrickson on the side. As long as we go ahead and re-sign Trey, which I heard there's some good talks, so that's going to do some good work. I'm liking the linebacker out of Clemson, Barrett. I think that's a hidden gem right there. And then Taj Brooks, man, that running back from Texas Tech. I think that's a very, very good sleeper that everybody's sleeping on. I expect him to get some touches. Him along with my other boy, man, Chase Brown. So I think that's going to be a good look. I definitely think that's going to be a good look. So that's what it is. But I just want to put that to rest, man, because I really think that we were bamboozled this year, man. They played their cards right, and they did it in a way to make everybody stay in tune and stay in line, man. Everybody watch the next few rounds because I guess they was looking at it like, our ratings go down after the first, second round. How can we keep the ratings going? Shit, man. One of the most anticipated draftees doesn't get picked. Let's see where he goes. Mm. It is what it is, man. So that's my point for that, man. NFL draft conspiracies. Um, Going on to number two, like like I said, I'm not holding y'all on, but this was a very interesting thing. So, if y'all don't know, man, that's Tyrese Halliburton. That's his pops. Okay, and apparently Tyrese Halliburton had hit a game winner over Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay, I think that was game six, forced game seven, or uh, whatever the case may be. I ain't really been watching the NBA because the Mavs ain't in it, but um, Tyrese hits the game winner over Antetokounmpo. Halliburton's dad is over there celebrating. He's happy. And then apparently Tyrese Halliburton's pops gets in Antetokounmpo's face. And they're jawing back and forth, yada, yada, yada. And I don't know what's going on, who said what. I've kind of tried to research some things, and it seems like both guys, I don't know. I, I don't, to me, I feel it's just a ego thing or something. I don't know what it is because I don't really. I'm seeing a lot of different things being said, so I really don't know what was said. So I don't want to quote anything and be wrong. But for this particular issue that you're seeing right here, Therese Halliburton's dad has gotten banned from all of the rest of the games uh, during the season. As long as the passes are in, the dad won't be at the games. Now, I believe that the dad did come out with an apology, speaking on, how he messed up. I believe Tyrese actually spoke on it and said how he was, how his pops was in the wrong. But then you look at these kind of things, man, then you sit back and just wonder, I love the fact that you have parents that support their kids at the highest level. And I think it's wonderful to be there and to be a fan, cheer for your child, cheer that they do good. This, that, and the third, cheer for the teammates, the coaches, and whatnot. But this is kind of like, it's kind of like growing up with little league teams and stuff like that. Like, cheer for your child, but understand you coming as a spectator. You're not the coach. You're not anybody else, man. So you don't have a right to be up in anybody else's face. Like, um, I do believe that sometimes fans do go over the edge. Clearly go over the edge. Now I know the game was over, but man didn't really have a reason. In my opinion, he really didn't have a reason to go up to Giannis and say whatever he had to say to Giannis, and those guys end up getting separated. I'm not going to challenge a guy that's three times my size, especially a guy that's in the NBA that lifts weights for a living. I'm not going to challenge that guy in no way, shape, or form. Get tossed up. We already seen what Ron Artest does. The people. You can imagine how some of these other guys do. So, um, I don't know, man. I just think I think with him being banned, is it too harsh? Uh, I think him being banned from the games may be a little too harsh. I would say more or less he can come to the games, but he'll have to probably be in the press box. You can come to the games, but you got to be in the press box. You can't be on the court. You can't be right there because we got to keep you separated from the players. So I would probably go to that extent. Um, I wouldn't necessarily ban them all together, but I just tell them, no, you go to the box. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't have access to the players, where you can't talk mess to the players, anything like that. We don't keep you separated. Um, and then the worst of the worst could have happened, man. The worst of the worst could have happened. What if that was the wrong person? What if that was Dylan Brooks that he got in confrontation with? You see what I'm saying? What if he gets in confrontation with a player and the player swings on his dad? You know what I'm saying? Now he knocks his dad out, and then Tyrese got to come over here from wherever he's at. And now he's fighting the player for knocking out his pops. And then you got a big squad, but just a big thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of factors that could have happened. in that type of situation. And granted, it's cool that Giannis is able to be cool enough to keep his composure on some things. Um, he's not too much tripping. He's not, going too crazy. He knows how to talk to people in a very, very calm manner. So I salute him on that. He didn't want to make the situation any worse than it already was. So yeah, I do commend him on that. You just those type of things, man. You just want to be aware and you want to be mindful. You want to be careful. Definitely, definitely want to be careful. So, does the punishment fit the crime? I'm not the Pacers organization. I can't tell you. Just in my opinion, I would just say, hey, Tyrese, look, your pops can still come to the games, but he's not going to be on the floor anymore. We're going to put him up in the press box because we got to keep him away from them. We want him to stay away from the players. And he can holler at y'all in the locker room after the game, such and such, this is that and the third. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to keep him away from the court and all of that where he has access to talk to the players. Gonna keep him let that be that. I mean, you look at guys like John Morant's dad, who is always constantly doing some wild stuff, man, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm surprised that they still kind of let him do what he do. But he's the guy that I would have long time ago told him like, no more floor seats for you, buddy. No more. And then you got to look at it, man. Sometimes these parents kind of take a persona of their own you know, off of their kids starting, they take a persona of their own, trying to, get in the mix in their own kind of way. So, but I look at that as a situation like, it really could have got bad. And again, I think Tyrese, after the game, did mention that his dad was in the wrong. I'm sure that they talked about it. I think the father did come out and apologize to the organization and the Bucks and everybody included. So it's just one of those things, man. Just one of those things for the safety of players, for the safety of fans. You never want to have those conversations. That's always been my thing about the NBA because it's the fans can get so close. I mean, fans can literally sit on the floor. Excuse me, that these guys are playing basketball on. So you are that like the guy can literally come like right in front of you dribbling the ball, and you can literally say something out of line to this guy while he's dribbling the ball. It's I can only imagine the certain things that some of these players hear on a daily basis. And and I've heard Big Game talk about it. I mean, him playing football and even on the football field, you got a pretty wide space, but a guy can lean over the rail and look at the team and say certain things to certain people. You know what I'm saying? So as fans, man, we just gotta be smart. Gotta be smart. Gotta learn how to pick your battles, man. Really, really do. You gotta learn how to pick your battle. Because these are professional athletes that get paid to lift weights and play sports. Okay. Any one of these folks can toss your butt up in any kind of way at any point in time if they choose to. Again, look at that Malice in the Palace. When that dude threw that Drake on Ron Artest, it was over. Okay. Even Jermaine O'Neal got a piece of it when that dude came on the court. Knocked him straight out. I'm just saying. At some point in time, they just like humans. They got a right to defend themselves. And if they feel like they got to, well, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna get knocked out, buddy. You know what I'm talking about? So it is what it is, man. But that's my point on that one. I just think that the punishment fits the crime to a certain extent. I think it is just a little bit too heavy that they ban his dad for for the whole rest of the season, where they tell him that he can't be at the games at all. I would personally, if I was the GM, if I was the owner of the Pacers, I would just tell him, hey, look, Tyrese, tell your pops he can still come and support, but no more floor seats. He will be in the press box. And I think I just make that legit. I just make that legit. You know what I'm saying? Even going into the next seasons, man. Um, it just be one of my things, man. It's just for protection from him and protection from the family, and the players as well. Because you never know what he might have said, man. You never know what he might have said. So, um, but I digress on that point. Is what it is, man. Last point, man. So I know that I have said, and I've had my share of saying things about this Nico Harrison trade of Luka Doncic. I actually told some of my homeboys that, man, and based on some of the evidence that has came out, and still conspiracies on this. Some people saying that um, that Nico's hand was forced, that that it was all management that told Nico to do this. Some people actually believe that, yeah, no, it was Nico. Nico was the one that did this. Nico was the one that said, "Hey, go ahead and push him out the door." We see the craziness of the Mavs fans, that just came out with the fire Nico chance wanting to get him out of there. I mean, and it's amazing how, I mean, a year removed from looking at everything that Nico did, building a team that's capable of winning, that's capable of winning. You know what I'm saying? The NBA championship to already a year after that, the very next year, everybody wants this man out. Let me see. Got a couple of comments. Big bro, yeah, T Moran thinks he's a star. Your courtside vision. Your courtside because of your son. He's sitting next to us and Kevin Durant. Yeah. Definitely, man. Definitely. You gotta do better with that. That was classic. Yes, it was, big game. Um, but I digress on this point because I'm looking at it and everybody's going crazy over Nico and his trade, the crazy trade that he did to get Luka Doncic out and make him a Laker, bring AD in as a Maverick. He goes out and bolsters to say that, defense wins championships and this and that and third. We've heard it all. But this is my question now, people. Was Nico right all along? And I don't know where I want to go with this. I don't know if I want to say I agree. I don't know if I want to say I disagree. Take it. And this is what I'm saying. I have literally, let me see, I got more comments and stuff popping up, guys. Hold on, let me see. The Mavs hadn't been out of the first round for over a decade until Nico got there. True. I give you that. I give you that, bro. I give you that. Haven't been out of the first round for over a decade until Nico. I give you that. Young light skin, no doubt. I don't know where to go because the expectations that everybody had was that once Luka got to LA, everybody was like, that's Luka and LeBron championship. A lot of people did. Logical people was like, they still need assets. They still need some help. This is that and the third. But people was thinking like, yo, Luka, LeBron, two of the greatest, yada yada yada. Let alone y'all still putting faith in the 39-year-old LeBron James. Can still go, but the man is 39 years old. Okay. Granted, I'm a Mavs fan. I'm a huge Mavs fan. I went through 7 years. As long as Luka played, I've been here 7, 8 years that Luka played here in Dallas, and I have watched Luka be great offensively, be amazing offensively, and yet do horrible things defensively. Defense is not Luka's best suit. Never has been. And I thought that the pieces that Nico was putting together around Luka to circumvent the defense or the lack of, if you want to call it, was kind of help to balance out. Because you take all of that offense that Luka has, you surround him with the defense, and that kind of balances out in its own sort of way. We trade for AD. AD comes in, and I don't care. A healthy AD, a healthy AD is damn near unstoppable. Okay, man could average a triple double every game if he wanted to, but AD has a history of injuries. Unfortunately, he has his first game. He put up gaudy numbers. Ended up getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? Um, when I go back to the question, was Nico right all along? I still don't know how to answer that. And I would love to hear some of you guys' comments on that. Because I figure if Luka was still here, the Mavs would definitely be in the playoffs right now. Definitely would be first. We're probably going to the second round. But I think we'd be all right. I think we'd be all right. You still take into consideration the lack of defense that Luka gives you, but you still look at the pieces of defense that we do have that again could have circumvent his lack of thereof. But we keep such a strong offensive firepower in Luka that you feel like you in any game, man. You feel like you can win any game. But now that he's traded to LA, hey. And now LA's out of the playoffs. What now? Big Game says he plays no defense. He doesn't play defense, Big Game. As much as I love him, he doesn't play defense. You know. Now that the Lakers are out, though, let's say he said, let me say, to make it worse, Lakers had no big to help. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't. They really, really didn't. So that goes back to my point of saying that you still needed some assets to help them out, even though people was trying to already give the Lakers a pass and saying that they could, win the championship, and whatnot, And I don't know. And then again, look at it, man, because LeBron is supposedly coming back for yet another year. Jesus Christ. Man gonna be 40 years old, making 52 mil. He's holding the Lakers hostage. I know he is, but he's taking that money. Comes back for another year. So you still have to figure that out. You still got to wonder if Luka's going to resign. Is he even happy to be a Laker? Because it just looks like he's not happy. But, I'm not Luka. I couldn't tell you. I'm not none of his friends, anything like that. Anybody that's close to him. So I couldn't tell you. So is Luka going to resign? And then you still got to somehow build a championship winning team. How are you going to do that? I wonder what's going to happen from here forward as far as with the Lakers are concerned. Dallas, I will say for me, I don't know about enough people, but I feel like Dallas suffered a lot of injuries this season. You take away the injuries that Dallas had. You got a hell of a squad. You still got a hell of a squad in some way, shape, or form. The fire Nico stuff is all because everybody loved Luka, and we wanted to see Luka be a Maverick for life, just like Dirk was. Okay, Luka talked about his loyalty in Dallas. We remember Dirk for his loyalty and everything like that. Luka was supposed to get a statue out here, just like Dirk has. That's where the hurt comes from. That's where the fire Nico chants come from. Now this guy can't really show his face in public because people are just that upset about the trade. And what if in an odd way, Luka still wanted to come back and be a Mav? He would probably have to be like, but Nico got to go. Supposedly Nico was firing all the close people in Luka's camp, and that's kind of what started all this going on. I don't know. And now Dirk has said that he doesn't even want to deal with us now. He doesn't even want to deal with the squad because of the management and everything that's been going on. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I really try to figure it out, but I don't know necessarily, man, if Nico is right or wrong. I say he's right because the Lakers ain't in it no more. But it's clearly that the Lakers needed more than just Luka, to compete. It's clear, and it's clear that Mavs probably could have did something if they had healthy pieces. Kyrie was gone. Lively was gone. Gafford was hurt for a little bit. AD was gone. It was to a point that we had so many injuries that we was down to like 8 guys, 7 or 8 guys. Nobody getting rest. Guys playing full games. It was getting bad, man. Neon light skin. Don't forget, Golden State fans did the same thing to Joe. When he got traded, Monte Ellis and Mark Jackson 4 championships later. Square biz. Square biz, man. Square biz. So I digress, man. I digress on a point. It makes me scratch my head. Definitely does. It was very odd seeing Luka in a purple and gold jersey. I don't think I will ever get used to that. I don't even think Laker fans are used to that. But me, I can't. I can't. And Big Game said you 100. Real talk. Real talk. Yeah. I don't think I can ever get over that, y'all. I don't know. But again, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Maybe Luka was truly maybe Nico was really on to something, man. Saying that the defense and it's an age old adage that teams in sports have used for years and years and years, man. The defense does win championships. Offensive win you games, but defense is definitely going to win you championships, which is always tried and true. It's always been tried and true. But I'm just saying, it just seemed like Dallas had a formula to negate the defense that Luka did. Even the small little defense that he did have, we always had pieces that could kind of make up for that, and help out in that regard, you know. But when it came to crunch time, we knew who to give it to, you know. And and looking at how Kyrie went down, you hope Kyrie. I would love for Kyrie to resign and retire as a Mav, you know. But I hope they bring back what's they got, Brandon Williams. Bring him back definitely. Just I don't know, man. I don't know. AD has to be healthy. AD has to be healthy for the majority of the season. I don't want to have and have. I want AD to be healthy, man. He needs to come back and have one of the best seasons ever. But again, so it's I'm really just there, man. I'm kind of just hanging on a limb. Because I've thought about this question, man. I really, really did. And I tried to come up with some answers on both sides. I really, really did. I really tried to come up and say that Nico was right to do it. But all I could say on that instance was just, hey, okay, Luka doesn't play defense, but what do we have in place? Look at the people that you brought in to help Luka play the defense or whatnot. Then I'm over here saying that, well, Nico was wrong, you know, because shit, you had a winning formula. If it wasn't broke, you shouldn't have fixed it. But obviously, he felt that it was something in that needed to be fixed. I don't know if this was personal. I don't know what kind of issue it was, but maybe he found something. He said something in this has to be fixed, has to be done. And he even said it with his interviews. It's not about Luka and them happiness. It's about what's best for the Dallas Mavericks. And if that's what he felt was. It is what it is. But Nico, you still have to understand, bro. It's gonna be hard for you to walk outside. It's gonna be hard for you to do that for quite a while. For quite a while. I will salute you for being man enough to come to the games and hear all of those chants, hear all of those people saying fire Nico and those people wanting to give you the business on site. I've even said it myself, man. I've let emotions get to me saying, it's spur Nico on site. But look, what can I say, bro? I ain't in the front office. I don't know what was going through your mind. I don't know what them numbers when you was crunching them numbers or whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is that made you say let's get rid of Luka. Because again, I don't see what reason you feel. But if you feel like defense is gonna win championships, if you feel that's the best thing that we needed to do, how, what can I say? I'm not the GM. I'm not a GM. I'm not. I don't make that money. They put it in your hands, and you felt the need to do what you did. So, you've been man enough to take up the consequences. You've been man enough to stand up and get all the criticism and deal with it. So I gotta give you the salute on that, bro. You know, but I just can't sit here and say if you're right or wrong. I can't at this point in time. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't. You know, I say you're right because the Lakers ain't still playing. They out of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But I say no, you wrong because shit. If Luka was still on the squad, we probably still be playing right now. Square is with the addition of Klay Thompson, a couple of other pieces. You know what I'm saying? We probably still be playing. But what am I to say? I don't know. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. MCSP Radio here chilling, man, doing my damn thing, man. That was my 3 points. Appreciate y'all. Usually I do have a winners and losers section, but I don't actually have it today. Because I was quite busy trying to put these things together, man. Being a father, man, of my 2 little young boys that I love dearly. Shout out to AJ, shout out to Drew, shout out to the wife, all that good stuff, man. So, I want to give you guys a show, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in, logged in, joined in, all that good stuff. I hadn't said this in a minute, but I just felt in my heart I need to say it and speak on it. I usually, hold on. Let me see what my man say here. What you think about Kyrie taking a pay cut to free up cap space for Bron to sign for 20-25 mil? You see him hugging Kyrie at the game and how Bron was talking about how the AD trade went down. Are you saying did Kyrie to go to LA or for Bron to come down here? I'm gonna tell you this. I wouldn't want Bron down here. I don't want Bron in Dallas. Especially not for your last, not for his last season. Hell no. Bron come down. No, bro. Fuck no. No, I'm sorry. Excuse my language, but no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, I'm good. Now, if they pull that, it is what it is. I just have to ride with it. I'd have to ride with it, but man, again, appreciate y'all. He'd hold down the fort while Kyrie recovering for sure. Maybe so, but dang, y'all talking. Look how much faith y'all putting in a 40-year-old though, dog. Like a 40, dude. A 40. 40. See what I'm saying? I know LeBron can still, I know he can still do magnificent stuff at his age, but I'm sorry, I can't put my faith in it, bro. I just personally couldn't put my faith in it, you know. You know. I'd rather give the bag to Giannis or something like that. I'd rather give a whole bag to Giannis and be like, Giannis, come down here and team up with AD and come team up with Gafford and come team up with Lively and come team up with Clay Thompson and Kyrie. Like, I'd figure out a way. I'd rather do something like that. Somebody young. No, it's time for Dallas. It's time for Dallas to make an unfair team and win. You know what I'm saying? Just go all out. How the Lakers go all out and be getting all these, but just Dallas just needs to just go all out and just make an unfair team. You know what I'm saying? I get you, fam, but that 40-year-old just averaged 25, 8, 8. Him, Kyrie, and AD would restore the league, fam, especially with this core. Look, if they do it, they do it. If they do it, they do it. Cool. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. And then I don't know. I mean, why would Ron want to take a pay cut when he's supposed to be getting 52? Why would he go to 2025 when he better? Why he want to cut half? You know? If he wanted to get a ring like that, if he was thinking about getting that last ring, then I can understand if that was something that really, you know, motivated him. I could understand that. Um, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think I think he's trying to retire as a Laker. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think that's what he will eventually do. Uh, I don't know. I'd have to look at the list of free agents. I'd have to look at the list of free agents that's going to happen. That's going to hit this next season and see and see. I want them to re-sign Kyrie though. Do want them to re-sign Kyrie, definitely, because he's a billionaire. Kyrie and AD are his boys. On top of the fact that those are his two championship teammates, which is a fact. Which is a fact. Which is a fact. That look, you bring up a very big. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. Your light skin. I'm gonna keep this in the brain because if we hear of something over the summertime before the new season starts, if we hear something that Bron is thinking about leaving and going to Dallas for a year to team up with AD and Kyrie, we're going to come back to this conversation. And I want you to be right here on this. I will invite you on the show when we talk about that, bro. Because you brought this up. You was the first one to bring it up, bro. So I'm acknowledge you in saying that. Real talk. I'm acknowledge you in saying that. I will personally try to get you on the show, man, so we can talk about that, bro. Real talk. Real talk. Because you already said it. If you put that in the air and if it happens, and I just have to I'll be rooting for Dallas. I'll be rooting for Dallas for sure. I got you too. I'll be rooting for Dallas, and it looks like I have to root for LeBron. I have to root for him. I don't hate Braun, man. I really don't hate Braun. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I never would have like it'd just be strange for me to see him in a Maverick jersey. It's just weird, bro. It'd just be weird. But anything is possible in this NBA, bro. Anything is possible. Real talk. Real talk. Anything is possible, man. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. I think just all the guys just need to get healthy. And let's see what happens, man. We just have to sit back and see what happens after this season. But yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. I'm about to get up out of here again. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man. If any of y'all suffer from mental health, make sure you guys seek help, man. There's a number down there, but of course, you can find your number, man, in your local spots, wherever you at. Mental health is a serious issue, something that I've dealt with in my lifetime. So I always want to encourage you guys, man, to go out there and always get some help. Friends can always tell you some things, to make you feel good, things that you may want to hear, but sometimes you need to talk to somebody that need to tell you what you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? So it's just some real talk stuff, man. Make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys are keeping yourself safe. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Appreciate you, young light skin, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit that bell, man, for notifications when we come back. Have a good another good conversation on some more stuff, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm finna head on now, man, do my thing, man, with my kids or whatnot, man. But until next time, man, y'all take it easy, all right? Peace, man.
Cruising in a Rari with the hair and nails and toes done. Always keep never gonna give me.
Gonna make a lot of women mad at this one, but it's alright.
Gonna get a shot at romance. It's kinda too cold.
Yeah.
I'm ice cold.
Listen. Long hair, brown skin with a smile to